Pam from Hillside, New Jersey. Your next comic, you've never heard of where he's from, you've never seen him in any movies. Please put your hands together for Joey Benetti.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. She actually didn't read the card right. It's Joey BustsMyNuts. That's me. I gotta say, this is the first time I've actually been back on stage for over a year. Since the last time was the first time I was on stage. Since I fell 18 feet off a ladder at my house back in December. It was my Griswold moment. Because I was fixing the Christmas lights. First of all, actually, let me ask, because I can't see anybody back there. Do we have any runners in the house? Runners? People who run? Any runners? Runners? Go fuck yourself. I just want to, listen, I appreciate runners. I have a fond appreciation and for people. In my mind, I'm a runner. But if you can see, I don't run much these days. I only run when I'm being chased, and that's not too often. So going back, I fell 18 feet off the ladder at my house. No one was home, all right, because my wife had an alibi, all right, so that really pissed me off. All right, so now I ended up falling on my driveway, all right, so, and the only person that actually saw me was my 70-plus-year-old neighbor who lives across the street. And to me, he reminds me of Herbert the pervert, you know, so as I'm laying on my driveway rolling around, he comes running over, he's like, "Oh my God, I'm watching you from my bedroom window, and I saw you fell and I screamed." I'm like, "Oh my God." I'm like, "You were watching me from your bedroom window?" "Can I get you anything?" And, you know, the adrenaline's wearing off now, so the pain's starting to roll in. So I'm like, "Yeah, can you give me a chair?" So he goes running over, gets my neighbor. They all prop me up, all 17 of them. They prop me up in the chair, so I'm just, you know, they're coming in. And now here comes my wife. She's, you know, all right, she taught CCD. So now, not only does she have an alibi, she had God with her. So she comes in with my daughter, and the only thing I can see and picture, I'm in a chair in the middle of my driveway, and all I can envision is her forgetting to put the car in the park. And as she's exiting the vehicle, the car is going to roll right over me. I'm like, this is it. This is it. I tell her all the time, "Honey, you had your chance. You had your chance." We have any married folks here? Yeah. Very good. Very good. I'm very sorry. I've been married, it'll be 14 years this year. My wife and I have now resorted to having hallway sex. Every time we pass each other in the hallway, we say, "Go fuck yourself." So that's always a pleasure. So my wife, you know, tells me that I have a snoring problem. So one of these days, my wife's going to stand over me like Henry Hill's wife with a friggin' pillow and smother me because she's saying that I snore so bad. The other night, she didn't realize that, you know, I started snoring, but I was still kind of awake. So she leans over to me, she goes, "I'm going to take my fucking pillow and smother you with it." I go, "What?" She goes, No, what happened? What? I didn't say nothing. Like, I heard that shit. So, because I snore, I get the privilege of sleeping in one of my kids' room. I have 2 kids that I know of. So I go, you know, I'm sleeping in my son's room one night. I went to my local watering hole. I'm, you know, like, you know, any other place. It was a night kind of like tonight. Had a few drinks. So, you know, fast forward to later in the night. I'm so happy to go sleeping in my own bed, so I have more than 6 inches to sleep on. So as I'm laying in bed, now, I don't know about you, but if you can picture, you know, when you drink, sometimes you get dehydrated. All right, so now, in the middle of the night, it's about 3 o'clock in the morning. Picture out of a dead sleep, a almost 300-pound gentleman coming up like the Exorcist and sitting up straight with a cramp in their leg. Now, when you get a cramp, all right, there's nothing that you can do with it. So you're sitting there and you're praying to God. You're doing, oh God, oh my God. I'm banging my legs. I'm like, please, Jesus. Please, Jesus. I became such a devout Catholic. Oh, oh, please, 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 please. Now, my wife and kids, they're home. They're sleeping. And I'm in my son's room, and I got to tell you, I don't know how I made it to the bed, but, my son has Legos all over the fucking floor. All right, so now I'm sitting there, and I'm hitting the cramp out. I'm like, please, God, please. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like motherfucking myself everywhere. I'm like, God damn it, please stop. Please. So now, at this point now, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm like, son of a bitch, man, son of a bitch. I just want to get to the bathroom. So now I look to the bathroom, which is right across from my son's room, and all I see are the Legos on the floor. And I get, and this is who I am. I am John McClane in Die Hard, going through on a field of glass. And you know what? I made it to the bed without touching one. I hit every fucking Lego on the way to the bathroom. Holy shit! Let me tell you something. It is not a fun experience. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I'm Joey BustsMyNuts. Appreciate your time.
You want to go by Joey BustsMyNuts?
Joey BustsMyNuts.
Oh, okay.